Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we successfully passed our all that user data in our this component, right? So in our name component. So now I want to get this all that user data and I want to visible it in our this profile page. So how can do that work? In this video, I will show you that things with a live example. So friend, before what exactly we have done, if you go to our header, so into the header area, I have passed one component data, that is a login component data. I pass it in our header in our this neighbor, right? So here we pass this one component to another component data with using the props. But right now we have to pass this user data in our this route. So if you want to pass these things into the route area, so that will be a little bit different. I show you. If you want to pass it, so that is our component. So into the profile page here, I want to pass. Okay, that means in our profile route, I want to pass our this user data. So if you want to pass it, that is over here. We don't need this profile, so I simply remove it. First of all, we have to load our this component. That means our profile. That is a profile component, and also we have to finish it. Okay, so here I simply finish this profile. So into the profile area, I want to pass with the user. I take one of the variable as a user, and into this user area now I want to pass our this data. Okay, that means this is test user data. So now I simply pass this as a this and then state, and with this state I pass that our user data. Okay, so here I simply pass it. I hope friend it's very much clear to you. So there is a profile. Into the profile area, then with this user I pass our this states user data. So here I have already discussed about that things with you. Here that is our states data. So that is our state. So here with this method I have already passed that things in our state, right? So now I simply pass it. So that will be as a this and then states and then our user data. So now I pass it in our this profile, that is a profile page. So now if you go to our profile page, so that is our component as a component, and that is our profile component, right? So into the profile component, I want to visible it in here. So if you want to directly access it, then you can actually directly access it with using the props. That means here what exactly we have to do. You have to add that as a this and then the props. Right, so that will be the props and then the user and then our field name as a name. So with this you can actually visible it, right friends? So now I don't want to pass this type of one of the things. I want to actually better take that things with one of the variable, and only I want to load our this variable in particular that area. So then that will be actually smart work. So I want to do in our this render. Okay, so into the render area, first of all I take two of this property. I take one of the late and I just name it as a name. Okay, I take another one as a for the email, so I make it as a late and for the email I name that property as a email. Okay, so I take both of this, and now I want to put one of the condition. If first of all here what exactly we have to do, first of all we have to check it if there have any user data. Okay, if this you have any user data, then that should be display, rather than it should be not display anything. So for the reasons here I want to put another if condition. So if and then I want to do with and this with this and then the props. So into the props area, if there have any user data, then I want to do and visible, right? So I want to visible it. I take one of the variable as a name, and this name will be actually this one. Okay, as I told you, I want to take this same part in our this variable. So now I only want to load this name, then that will be actually perfect. So now I want to load it, and also the same for the email. So the email will be this and then the props and then the user and our field name as an email. So I now simply add that as an email. Okay, so now I take both of this in here, right friends? So now you can actually load this only with this name. So now I simply copy it, and here I simply load this name, right? And also if you want to display the email, so I want to display this email. It's perfect. So how much easy it is, you can see. So that's all you have to do. So now it should be get this data. So if there have any user in our this props area, then automatically it should be access our with these props and our username and our user email address. I take both of this with this variable as a name and the email. So now I simply declare that name and the email now should be displayed in here. So now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, so now I am already logged in. So now I want to click as a refresh. Okay, so before that was actually static data. So now I want to check it. So now they have some of the error as the element type is invalid accepted as a string. okay, string, and then there is actually our check the render method as a router consumer. So router consumer means if you go, they have some of the issues in here. In our header, I pass our this states user, right? So friend, here when you pass any component data into the routes, here also we have to add these things like that way. So here we have to add it. Okay, so I didn't add it. So now with this, and then our profile, and this profile that is will be as a profile user, this is states user. So here we have to do that things like that way. Maybe for that reason actually is getting this error. I save all, and now let's check this out. Click the refresh. Yes, you can see perfect. So now you can see, friend, now I am logging with this user. So that is our username is visible as a Kazi-Aryan, and also is display our name, that is email address as a kazi@gmail.com. If you go to our database, and here I have created one of the database as a passport, right? So into the passport area, if you check with the user, so I have only one user right now. So yes, that is a Kazi-Aryan name is visible, and the email is also visible. So right now that is not that static data, so that is now totally our dynamic data. Okay friends, so I have already loaded our all the user details, and now you can see how much easily we are able to display it. So make that sure when you pass any component data into the route component, also here we have to pass that things like that way. Okay, so that will be actually our format. So I didn't use it before, so now everything is looking great, and you can see it's now successfully display our this logging user data, which is totally fine, right friend? So now in our next video, I want to discuss about that registration. So how can create one of the new user, and how can insert this data. In our next video, I will show you that things with the live example. And also we have to add some of the privilegization. So how can do that work is step by step. I will also cover everything. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.